What is cognitive dissonance and why do you need it? Welcome back to the Twin Win, the only live stream on the internet that helps you get the twin win of succeeding in business while winning at home so that you can stop existing and start living. My name is Jay Allen Hull, and I am live every morning, almost every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I am here today to talk to you about a concept called cognitive dissonance and why you need it. So, cognitive dissonance basically is just saying, here's an image of who I want to become. This is what I want to be. This is who I want to become. This is where I am today. The cognitive dissonance is your brain saying there's a gap there. That's all it is. It's just that simple. Your brain sees a gap. So the cognitive dissonance, though, helps to impel your brain, helps to get your subconscious thinking, okay, how do I get from here to here? How do I become that thing? So this is another reason why I start out all of my clients by writing a purpose statement. This is a very important document that I have all of my clients write. We talk about 5 key life domains, and those 5 key life domains, we write a paragraph. We go through and write a paragraph about what we want. You know, this is kind of a eulogy exercise, and I don't like calling it a eulogy. It seems a little bit more morbid, so I call it a purpose statement. But we think about, at the end of my life, you know, what is my purpose here? What do I want to have accomplished? What do I want, if I were standing in my funeral, if I were being that morbid as a ghost next to my casket, what would I want to hear people eulogizing me about? What would I want to hear them saying about me? So that's the idea, is you want to think about that. And so the 5 domains are spiritually, family, socially, physically, and then professionally or financially. So with that being said, you want to start out with, first, you know, what kind of a person do I want to be spiritually? What kind of a connection do I want to my higher power or to the earth or to whatever it is I believe? You know, for me, it's God and Jesus Christ. And what kind of a connection do I want to be? What kind of an example of their teachings do I want to have been in my life and passed on as a legacy to my family? So that's the first thing. And obviously I write down this paragraph, and it reflects who I want to become. It's not who I am today. And it's to create that cognitive dissonance. There's a gap there. Same with my family. What kind of a husband do I want to be? Become? What kind of a father do I want to become? What kind of what kind of priority do I want to show that my family is? How do I want to treat them? Those types of things. Same socially. How do I want to be remembered in my community? What kind of a community member? What kind of a friend? What kind of a servant in the community do I want to be remembered as? Physically, how do I want to be remembered as far as how I took care of my body? What were some of my physical habits that helped to improve my health and things of that nature? And then finally, your social, not your social, finally, your professional or financial life. You want to write about that. And the reason why we write about the other 4 domains first is because then we can create a picture of what we want our life to look like outside of work. Because remember, your brain, if you're a knowledge worker, your brain is only good for about 6 hours a day. That gives you 18 hours a day. See, math isn't one of my strong suits. That gives you 18 hours a day for sleep, which is 8 hours, and 10 hours to live your life and create the life that you want. So you have to define those other 10 hours first. What do you want those 10 hours to look and feel like first? Then you can define what those 6 hours look like so that they can support that. Because remember, as I've talked about, there's no such thing as work-life balance. There is work-life harmony, where your work supports your home life and your home life supports your work life. So that's the idea. And that's why you want to create these purpose statements, so that you have a cognitive dissonance. You have an idea of what you want in life so that your brain can start working out the pathway to get there. That's the really cool thing, is you don't necessarily even have to have a path of how do I become like that. Your brain just has to be reminded of who you want to become. And throughout the day, it will make micro adjustments done daily over a period of time, 1% better every day. It leads to huge changes each and every month, year, and decade, and so on and so forth, to become that person you want to become. Again, you're not going to become that person overnight. Don't even try to become that person overnight. You're going to create more heartache than cognitive dissonance if you do. But the power of cognitive dissonance will impel you to become a better person. Now, here's the key. in my purpose-driven planner, which I have sitting right here, open for the day, right at the beginning of the purpose-driven planner, the first thing that you look at is your goals, Smartery goals, and then my life map. And that's where I have my purpose statement written. And by having my purpose statement written there, I read it every morning, almost every morning. Again, there's a really cool concept here of more often than not. And if you read it more often than not, how do we know more if we've done it more often than not? Real simple. God gave us 7 days, and 7 is not an even number. So we can easily know if we do it 4 days out of 7, we've done it more often than we haven't. If we only do it 3 days out of 7, then we've done it less often than we have. So if I can read it at least 4 to 5 days a week, I strive for 7, but 4 to 5 is a good goal to aim for. Then my brain, more often than not, starts the day, because I read it first thing in the morning, starts the day with who I want to become. And then throughout the day helps me make micro choices and micro decisions that lead to that person. So that's why you need cognitive dissonance in your life. If you don't have cognitive dissonance in your life, you probably don't have a bigger picture for yourself. You don't have bigger goals. You don't have a grander plan. And that means you don't think you need to change. And that's a bad thing, because everybody should change. Everybody should be working on becoming better. And if you don't think you need to change, then you're stagnant. You're stagnating, and you're just sitting there, and you're not becoming anyone or anything. So let's become something. Let's, as Dean Martin used to say, let's drink up and be somebody. Let's drink up and be anybody, but let's do it. Let's put cognitive dissonance in our lives by thinking about who you want to become by the end of your life, so that you can read it every morning and then start making those micro choices and those decisions, which happen subconsciously, by the way. But they happen. Some of them do happen consciously. You know, sometimes a choice comes up, and as I'm ready to make the wrong choice, something I read that morning in my purpose statement comes back and says, well, you've said you wanted to be this type of a person. That's not making this choice isn't going to lead to becoming like that kind of a person. So sometimes they're conscious, but a lot of times they're subconscious, that your brain just starts working out a path. Bonus points if you read it before you go to bed, because if you read it before you're going to bed, your brain has something to work on. Your brain works harder while you sleep than it does when you're awake most times. And it has something to work on to, again, start working out the process to get to where you need and want to go. So that is my message for you today. Thank you for joining me on the Twin Win, where we talk about how you can succeed in business while winning at home. That's called the Twin Win, so that you can stop existing and start living. Thanks, guys, for joining me. We'll see you guys later. Bye.